Hey y'all, Guy Level here. I'm currently traveling and I wanted to make content, so I thought, why not make content about making content while traveling? Now, obviously, the biggest subject in this discussion is going to be about gear. I'd like to tell you about stuff that I brought, but also things that could be more optimal in other situations. So let's get right into it. I'm going to break this down in a couple of categories. First of all, we're going to talk about what you're going to use to actually record. For me and for a lot of you, the most convenient thing is going to be a smartphone. Here I have the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE, and this is what I've been using to film most of my B-roll for all of my tech reviews and stuff like that. The second thing that I brought with me, I don't even know if I can show you, is a laptop. Here you see I have the Asus VivoBook, and it's kind of a beast of a laptop, to be honest. Processor is a 13th gen Core i9, and GPU is an RTX 4060. As an option, you can also use a tablet. This is the Samsung Galaxy S7 FE. I haven't come up with a workflow yet to work with it, just because, well, my laptop does everything basically. Of course, something that I don't have with me is a camera. I do own the Sony ZV-1, which is classified as the best vlogging camera. Cameras are great, of course, like you're gonna get probably the best image quality, but unfortunately, there are some downsides. Some mirrorless or DSLR cameras cannot roll for too long, and also, oftentimes, the onboard microphones completely suck. So when you use something like your phone, where you're going to be able to film and also edit and also share it, and also it fits in your pocket, the advantages start stacking up. All right, so let's talk about image quality. Right now, I'm recording with the Insta360 Link. The Asus VivoBook actually comes with its own onboard camera that I could use. Matter of fact, let me switch to that right now. There it is. So it is a full HD 1080p 30 FPS webcam, and it's pretty decent when it comes to the quality. As you can see, it's not necessarily managing the light really well. It has auto exposure, and if I turn that off, it's going to be completely dark. So if I'm recording something like gameplay and I'm going to have my webcam in a corner, this is completely fine. But as a main camera like this for a YouTube video, not so much. I'm looking at the other camera. So onboard webcam versus Insta360 Link. Hopefully you can see the difference in quality. To be fair, I am using, it's tracking now. I am using the Insta360 as a 4K downscale to 1080p, basically. And yeah, this one has autofocus. You can probably see my individual pores. And most importantly, it handles light pretty well. And we're going to talk about lighting. All right, let's move on to my phone camera. So this is my phone in normal video mode without even using the pro mode. I'm recording in full HD right now, but this phone is totally capable of 4K. Of course, to get the best quality possible, you will want to use the back camera. And this is where it gets a little complicated, because if you're using the back camera, then you cannot see yourself. You cannot frame it perfectly because you don't see what you're filming. But that is only the case when you're filming yourself. And if you're using something like a selfie stick or a gimbal, you're kind of getting used to vaguely pointing it at yourself, and you usually end up being in frame. Another thing you can do is actually record in 4K so that you can basically zoom in and center yourself manually later on. Of course, another huge thing with the phone is that you can pick it up and then just move around, go wherever you want with it. So now your video can be a little bit more dynamic. You're walking around, you're talking, your background is constantly changing. We'll be talking about audio later, but this is the onboard microphone on the phone. And if you're wondering what I'm using to actually hold it, this is actually a tripod that came with the Insta360 Link. I just have a special phone holder. It's not really special, it's a very basic one. But something very important is that it needs to have that 1/4" thread at the back of it, as well as the bottom. But to be completely honest, this is not the type of gear that you need to spend a ton of money on. A regular selfie stick is fine. Depending on your needs, you might want something that does portrait or landscape or both. At the end of the day, this is mostly plastic. I don't think I need to convince you to not use a tablet for filming, but if that's the only thing you have, use the back camera if your tablet has one. All right, let's talk about audio. My laptop comes with 2 onboard microphones, I believe. They are fine for live streaming. I've tested them once. They are fine for Zoom calls. I don't think they're good enough for YouTube videos, which is why I like to bring the Elgato Wave. Honestly, to me, the Elgato Wave is one of the best plug-and-play mics out there, not only for the decent sound quality that you get without having to tweak too much, but also I like how the capsule handles like the pops and the sensitivity of it. I feel comfortable. If it's a little too close, I know it's not gonna be a nightmare to edit. It's gonna be just fine. So I'm currently clearly not at home right now, and I still have to make this video, okay? So listen, I wanted to talk about how you can make different gaming content. So this thing is tracking me again. Stop. There you go. So this is why I appreciate it. It's kind of light. It's not the lightest microphone, but it's pretty light. I didn't bring a stand for it or anything like that. I can just hold it and talk, and I know the sound will be at least decent. You guys know that I love cheap microphones, but most of the time, capsules are pretty sensitive. So if you just don't tweak it right while you're traveling and you're stressing about other stuff, you might have like a sound that's completely saturated and that's unusable. I do not have that fear with the Elgato Wave. Also, I'm using the Wave 1. I believe has the exact same capsule as the Wave 3, except I've seen this one drop all the way to $50 when it's on sale. So yeah, currently my favorite mic to travel with for my laptop setup.
All right, so when it comes to your phone, this is what I brought with me this time. I usually use the Comica VD Live 10 as my wireless setup with my phone, but if I want to film myself out in public, I don't like having a microphone just strapped to my chest and then have the transmitter plugged into my phone sticking out. In the hotel room, that's not a problem, but if I'm outside and I want to film myself for the YouTube video, then this feels more natural. Now, those are the AKG earbuds that come with the Samsung phone. I don't like them as earbuds, but the mic sounds pretty decent. Sometimes it's worth it to hold it kind of in front of your face. Maybe the sound quality is a little bit better. It's something you need to play around with, but usually just dropping it like that is completely fine, as long as you're not rubbing it or anything like that.
Now, the good news is that wireless microphones are super cheap nowadays and sound pretty decent, all of them, even the $2 ones from AliExpress. So I would personally, I would basically pick them depending on the design. I would pick them based on, am I gonna look like a clown in public or not? But if you want high quality stuff, I believe that the DJI ones are the ones that sound the best to me, at least. And that is just based on like YouTubers that I watch. There are also ways to connect your condenser microphones to your phone, but this is not something that I really ventured with. If I'm filming with my phone, it's mostly because I want it to be practical and to be very mobile. I don't want to have like a full podcast setup connected to my phone most of the time, but just in case you didn't know, that's an option. When it comes to video editing, I don't want to recommend you use anything that is heavy. This is why I think CapCut is basically the industry standard right now for really powerful editing, full of presets to do pretty much anything you want to do, while also being an app that runs on your mobile devices and also on desktop. I personally, on my laptop, I run Adobe Premiere. That's because it can handle it basically. And also that's what I'm comfortable with. But on both my phone and also my tablet, I'm running both CapCut and also InShot as editing apps. When editing at home, the core of my workflow is a Stream Deck. And I didn't bring one with me this time. So what I did is basically change a couple of keybinds on my keyboard, and honestly, it works really well. That being said though, using the touchpad to edit was extremely uncomfortable for me. I should have brought a mouse. Now when it comes to editing on mobile, this is finally where your tablet gets a chance to shine. Because you get such a larger canvas, you have access to more tools, and the ability to use a stylus for photo retouching and creating thumbnails. And of course, another very important part of creating videos is lighting. And in this case, I tell you, use the sun. Use the sun. Since you have the mobility, you can place yourself wherever. You can use the blinds as flags to block the sun, or diffusers to just have the soft shadows like I do now. Or if that's your thing, you can be directly into the sunshine. All right, let me adjust my settings to show you what this would look like. Adjusted the shutter speed and the ISO, and this is a look. But also, you're seeing the quality of the Insta360 right now. This is a webcam. So understand that most of the time when you feel like you don't have the best image quality, it's not because you haven't invested in a super expensive camera. It's just because of your lighting. Everybody loves the sunshine. The sun is so bright, I can use my hand as a reflector. Look at that. Fill light, bounce light, my hand. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say right now. My setup is not optimal. I wish I brought longer USB-C cables so I have more freedom moving around with the mic and also placing the camera in all odd places while still connected to my laptop. I don't mind the audio on my phone with those earbuds, but those earbuds suck. But if there's something that I want you to take away from this video is that no matter what you have, no matter what gear you have, as long as it's able to record audio and video, you should be able to make content. I don't have lighting. That's fine. That's completely fine. Most of the time, we are the ones putting those barriers when it comes to creating content. This is why I end up talking to some creators that have over $10,000 worth of setup just for them to later realize that, oh, I don't have any ideas. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel inspired. Yeah, spending a bunch of money doesn't make you a content creator. Creating content does. So subscribe.